What's good everyone, it's Ya Diiiigg here reporting for No Jumper, and today we're here to talk about Tay K. Now, just the other day, I randomly decided to give Santana World a playthrough again, probably the first time I listened to it in a good 6 or 7 or so months, and I was hit with a wave of nostalgia, and it really just reminded me just how good Tay K's music was and the insane wave he had with his music just a few years ago. Now, separating the art and the music from Tay K's own personal actions, you really can't deny his musical talent. Songs like Mega Man,
shining like a Mega Man, I smoke Mega Man, don't come at the youth, send you back to where you came,
and Lemonade.
I can get caught lacking, bitches not in my system, she drinks lemonade, I drink Lipton.
Really stand out to me especially, and it got me thinking about an alternative timeline. What if Tay K wasn't guilty? What if Tay K had did the dash, released the race, which plunged him into internet fame, but instead of getting 55 years in jail, he was set free and went on to have a musical career? Well, let's take it back and contextualize the popularity of Tay K at this time of his situation pending. Now, the song The Race was released in June.
Fuck a beat, I was trying to beat a case, but I ain't beat that case, bitch, I did the race.
And basically, as soon as the song was released, it went insanely viral. The legal situation with all the headlines of this 17-year-old kid possibly committing murder and doing the dash on the police added this very surreal reality to the situation that made people intrigued with Tay K, and it made the song spread fast and gain traction quickly. By the end of August, according to this Complex article, it had gained 19+ million views and had already entered the Hot 100 Billboard charts. Plus, it wasn't only this song in and of itself that was propelling Tay K's name. There was numerous other ancillary factors that were playing into this, whether it be the remixes of the song where 21 Savage and Young Nudie hopped onto the official remix.
Fuck a beat, I was trying to beat a face. 21. Put it in your mouth, how it tastes.
Whilst others like Lil Yachty
it's your boat, put a nigga in a place. Rich as fuck, out the window, free Tay K.
and YB and Namia
Fuck a beat, I ain't had to be no case, nigga snitching all on number, watch them bullets hit his face.
released their own versions of the track. Then adding to this were the parodies of the song.
Fuck a beat, I was trying to beat my meat, bitch. But I ain't beat my meat, bitch, I went to sleep.
That were getting millions of views on YouTube, and then not to mention the countless viral memes that were popping up everywhere on the timeline. Tay K's ascent to internet fame was quick and people were intrigued with him, and this spilled over into his other music also gaining traction. Tracks like Mega Man, Murder She Wrote, and I Love My Chopper combined to have well over 100 million Spotify plays. Hell, the interview he did on No Jumper with Adam that happened at the time where the situation was kind of pending has over 1.6 million views to this day. Now, there is something really important to bring up here, and that is being in jail and having a whole movement and base to create this hype cycle around your potential freedom can be an insanely strong promotional tool, and it makes for a spectacle when you come out. We all know X literally blew up while he was in jail, and then when he released, it was this climactic moment for his fans and was a huge platform for him to blow up from. And then even more recently, we saw this with the whole 6ix9ine situation, where we got to witness firsthand how much that media hype train can really prop you up. And although I don't think Tay K would have had such a big moment compared to X or 6ix9ine because his name just wasn't as big at that time as those acts, but without a doubt it would have been a moment in the culture, and it would have been a huge moment to capitalize on when he was out. Now, more specifically focusing on the music rather than just how popular he was at that time, I see a lot of people talk about how talented he was, but also whether he could have followed up the race and whether his music would have actually been popular. Well, the fact is twofold. Firstly, he already kind of did follow up the race hard with Blockboy JB, which was released by No Jumper.
You was on some op shit, I was cruising down a nigga block with the chopstick.
Not only showed Tay K's skill to make a catchy, engaging, memorable hook, but it also showed that his sound could be viable to bigger audiences outside of the race, as it went on to be certified gold and nearly get 80 million Spotify streams. But not only this, importantly to mention, we saw a number of artists come out after Tay K did, who fans kind of think took inspiration from Tay K and ran off with his swag, and the success of those artists we could only assume Tay K would have had if he actually got released. And I think there are two main examples of this. YB and Namia is the first one, when Namia first burst onto the scene with his breakout song Rubbing Off the Paint.
I've been running, gotta check me your bag. I got hundreds
was pretty much an accepted notion that it was an off-brand the race, and from that entry point we've seen Diiiigg go on to have huge levels of success. And then secondly, and then this one is really a no-brainer, Comethazine was very clearly inspired by Tay K, his vocal inflection, his tone of voice, his rapping style when he started to get more aggressive across the Borsky series, all scream Tay K. Just compare Benjamin Counter to Hard.
You was on some op shit, I was cruising down a nigga block with the chopstick. Grab the rubber right up off the counter, then I pound her. Real street nigga, so I keep my 4-pounder.
So getting back to that idea of not knowing whether Tay K could have had the same level of success or have any level of success after the race if he actually had got out with his music, if we take the success of a song like Hard, as well as the fact that people who were inspired by his sound like Diiiigg and Comethazine went on to kind of quote unquote take over his lane because he was locked up and went on to have huge successes in their own right with quote unquote his sound, it suggests that Tay K, if he had gotten out at that time, could have had huge success with his own music. Lastly, harkening back to everything we've been saying about just how good his music was, his talent, the amount of tension on him, etc, etc, he was only 17 at that time. So at 17 to be at that point already, if he was to come out and have this huge opportunity in front of him, who knows where he could have gone. Sean Cotton, who founded Say Cheese TV, had this to say from this article from Complex, quote, "If he somehow gets out of jail, I feel like he could be bigger than Chief Keef has ever been." And whilst that seems like an implausibly huge proclamation right now, at that time you can really understand why he would have thought that. But unfortunately, as we know with how the story played out, we never really got to see Tay K reach his full potential, musically speaking. And in the comments below, make sure to let us know what you guys think. If Tay K had gotten out, do you think he would have been as big as Chief Keef, or do you think he would have been popular still, or do you think we would have kind of seen him gradually fade away and quote unquote fall off? Make sure to let us know in the comments. Also, if you haven't, make sure that like button down below, and you can see more Dough Jumper videos on the screen right now. Make sure to check them out if you haven't. But that's all from me today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace.